We'd like to sincerely thank our Patreon supporters.
Good morning, everybody. It's, oh gosh, Friday morning. I have no idea what day today is. I've been doing a lot of demo work at the other house and came out here yesterday to get some work done because if you remember, we get a Sulphur Female tomorrow and these two cages needed to be done. They're nowhere near done. So I'm switching gears and just going to finish the female sulphur's enclosure. The males I can get done a couple days later. I came out here yesterday to get a whole bunch of work done, and the 2 days that I was doing demo work in Jupiter, it must have poured out here. And I had about 3 inches of water in the hallway. I don't even know what this dirt feels like in here. All right, so this felt like quicksand. I could step in here and it was just all mush. And I've got to build a lay box. I got to set the boards at the bottom of the slab so the female can never dig underneath that slab. Bring all that dirt in, build a shelf, finish the roof, the log up to the shelf, pass-through doors already done, and a plant. And I'm still trying to figure out how to add some more shade. I think I have a temporary solution that I could implement in these enclosures and until we figure out something a little more permanent. Because I do believe that the sun is stressing the animals. It hasn't been a health problem yet, but it is definitely giving them stress. And Joanne is stable. She has eaten 2 small meals. She is still slightly off, but we didn't rush her to the vets since she ate that afternoon and she was more active that afternoon and acting more normal. But yeah, did I mention a door? I always forget the door. But yeah, trim on the outside, trim up top. There's a lot to do in this enclosure in 1 day's time, and it's already probably 8:30 in the morning. So I had to load up stuff at the other house and drive all the way out here. So I'm gonna get started. All right, so I finished the roof screen. Walk into this enclosure. Like I was saying earlier, how wet that mud is. It seemed pretty firm when I started, but once I broke through the surface, I'm working in a mud pit. But I finished the roof screen for that enclosure and got all the strips on. But now it's 10 a.m., so the clock is ticking. So an hour and a half just to do that. Now I'm gonna get on that egg laying box and the log by the entry and all that dirt. See if I can't get that done by lunch. All right, now it's 12:30, time to break for lunch. And I have the shelf done. The heat pad's back there and I got the lay box built. Now I still need to fill it with dirt. Got the entrance cut in there, and then I need to fill this in with dirt. And again, I'm using this space, some wood in this space, some scrap cut up pieces of logs to take away that volume of dirt so the lizards don't choose to try and lay eggs here. Some of the cages I even put some wood there so it's not clean dirt. I don't want a mass of dirt for them to lay out here instead of in the lay box. I don't mind if they explore. It's good that they have options to explore and then choose the best option, which is hopefully always the lay box. So I'm gonna stop, sit in the AC for a little bit, eat a sandwich, and then I guess we're gonna finish up with the door, all the dirt, the palm tree log to give the animal access, a plant. Let's see if I can find my way around. I mean, we really had some bad rain, and like this cage, this is the drainage for the cage and it's holding that water, but it's not because the ground level is that high. It's because once the cages are done, we'll grade the property, pull this water off. That is about 2.5–3 feet higher than my swale. So obviously groundwater is not higher than that. It's just, we need to grade the property a little bit with a bobcat, and we'll get all this water pulled off. It won't be a problem later. I was walking around to show you. Oh, I can't even tell you how hot it is. The backside of that enclosure, I still need to do the wood strips on the backside to cover this up so the staples don't rust and get pushed out by an animal. So this will get not a 1x2, but actually a cut piece of corral board. So it's 1 inch thick by 1.5 inches. That goes over that corral board 1x4 for there, and there. And we'll get that sealed off. And this is on this enclosure because right now that's a stop. We're not going past Jane's enclosure, but later on, this doesn't need to be here because there will be just another blackthroat over here. So the animal would never escape into the wild. All I do is I put the staples every 2 inches where I know it's going to be just staples, and just inspect it regularly just to make sure everything's all right. But again, can never escape into the wild, just another animal's enclosure, which I've never had happen. So, all right, after lunch. All right, it's 4:30 in the afternoon, and this cage is done. Doors all done, and you guys see how I rip a 2x4 in half, make a true 2x2, actually a little bigger, and I use that as my door stop. Fills the gaps. And I hang the door a little closer on the other side. You can see it on this other door. Gap's a little larger, but it's fine. So now that wooden door can twist and whatever that it's gonna naturally do, and the door is still not gonna open up. But I'm filling the water right now. The ramp, the plant, everything. Now, before I move another animal over here, aside from this one here, I am going to either do a roll of that bamboo reed. It's not bamboo, it's actually like that reed fencing that's in those rolls. If I cut it to a 3-foot roll and roll it across these enclosures just to cast some shade on their water so their water isn't heating up and they can actually cool off. I think that it's actually, just like it's too hot out here for me, I think it's too hot even in their hide boxes for them. And I need to address that issue. I mean, everyone's fine, but I could just see that normally they're out all day long and they're just hiding, trying to cool off. And I need to fix that. Or I think in the attic, you know, this was a landscaping business that was here before, or a tree farm. I think there is either weed blocker or the shade cloth in the attic, a big roll of it. So I need to go up there and see. I'm gonna sit down in the shade and eat a watermelon Italian icy, and then I'm gonna jump on the lawnmower and give the grass a cut, trim the hedges. Just, I mean, it's every 4 days, 5 days, it seems like. I mean, I'm stretching it to a week, but it needs to be cut in like 4 days right now with all the rain and all the sun. It's crazy how fast it's growing. I'm gonna get on that, and we're going to continue this video introducing this new female sulfur water monitor. All right, it's the next day, and I've got to drive almost 3 hours to go meet this guy, James, to pick up this sulfur female. While I'm talking to you, I'm ripping up some bread to feed the fish. And I have been feeding him the fish food, but I have some extra bread that I needed to get rid of. And just like us, it's good to eat that stuff every once in a while, just not every day. So they have the thing of fish food in there that I give them 3 scoops every day of. Well, not today. They're getting a treat today. They're like piranhas. All right, I'll let them enjoy that. And I'm gonna get in the air-conditioned truck. I used to dread long drives, but it just means a day that I'm not dying in the heat. So I'm actually looking forward to it. I don't know if we're gonna pull her out when I pick her up from him. Maybe we'll just crack it and peep. And hopefully we get to see her well when we release her into the enclosure. All right, it's like 4:45 in the afternoon. I've been driving all day. Pinky is taking a swim. What are you doing, Pinks? She's enjoying her water. I swear it was cleaned yesterday afternoon. That's how fast they get it dirty with this mud that's in their enclosures. But the grass is trying to grow in. And we have our new female here. I put her in her, I just threw the box in the cage. But again, this is her finished cage. We got her from James Wallace. I met him up in North Florida. We had lunch at Ale House. Had a nice lunch, and he insisted on buying me lunch, so thank you, James, for that. But here is our beautiful female sulphur. Poor girl messed in her cage when we were traveling. Now, she's gonna mess again. She's not a super tame one, but that's, again, always fine for what I'm trying to do here. Yeah, she's scared, so she's pooping. She's confined in that box. So we are just going to back off and let her crawl out on her own. Oh. Yeah, what I don't want is her to like run and scratch her face on the screen or something like that. So if we get out, and we're gonna let her calm down on her own. I don't want her to hurt toenails or anything like that. The first couple minutes is always the worst. Yeah, she's frantically running on the screen. So we're just gonna back off and let her get used to it. And I wanna finish this video on options. Like I said, I'm not moving another animal out here until I have some sort of partial shade solution for 3 to 4 feet of roof coverage, and something that I could take down. You know, everyone's been giving me suggestions, but you remember in the winter, it's gonna be colder here and I'm gonna want more heat. So I don't want something permanent. And remember, this used to be a tree farm, and I mentioned that there were some products in the attic. You remember my friends John and Regina from Shut Up and Fish South Florida, their YouTube channel. John had given me some rolls of reed fencing, and I've used that. There's even a picture of like what it kind of looks like sprawled out. Looks like bamboo, but thinner. I could cut that roll in half and put a 3-foot deep roll across the enclosures. It won't last forever. It's gonna break down. But this property in the attic has 2 of these giant rolls of black felt that would have been used for a weed blocker in landscaping. This can be put up on the roof. I don't know if I need the full length, maybe half of it, right in the front of the enclosure, where over the water. Because if the water's cool, the animal can cool off. Or burlap. And it's a pretty tight burlap, so I think it would offer some good shade. Obviously, that vinyl shade sail material or shade cloth material would be the best, because it's not gonna break down in the sunlight, whereas that felt might last a pretty good long time, but it's gonna rip when we have wind. The burlap's gonna break down. It's not made for a permanent outdoor use. Like, I would like something that I could put up the hot months and then take off and not need it. Eventually the plants are going to grow in and provide enough shade for the animals. But these are free solutions. I don't have to go out and buy them. Screws and fender washers, I can install them, and I can even cut them to length and install them over enclosures as I complete them, where it doesn't have to be a full 50-foot roll. Or I could cut a 50-foot roll and unroll it back and stop it, and then roll it out for the next enclosure and stop it. And we could actually do it that way, where we have the whole length to remove as needed. So tell me what you think as far as the options. Obviously, I think the reed fencing will be the best, but all in all, it's a 15-foot roll, so there's 30 feet here, and I have 2 of these, so I only have 60 foot of it. I wouldn't mind using the same thing for each row of enclosures, so that brings us to 200 feet. But if you include the hallways, that puts us at 300 foot of material. I definitely have it in the felt without buying it. There's a possibility that it's there in that burlap. Probably not. I mean, it might be 200 feet. I don't know. And it wouldn't be the end of the world if I had to buy burlap. And also, if something just lasts us 1 season and then we have to buy more for the following season, being free now and having to pay for it later also is doable. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. And next time I shoot a video, we'll show you how that female sulfur is doing. And gotta do the name plaque video. Once everyone's moved over here, we're gonna do that. We're gonna start naming animals, and then bam, once we decide a name, that plaque's gonna go up. But that's it for today. Thanks for joining me, everyone. Have a good one. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. See you soon.